Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Why so serious? Salmon from
Red Robin, yum.
Big fan.
Not a sponsor. Welcome to Visual Recreation, the essential video guide to winning FML. Each and every week, I'm your psychotic movie buff Drew.
And I'm Joey, the strategy guy, and this week I'm excited for the new release.
Just like I'm excited to try the voodoo fries from Red Robin, yum. Big fan.
Not a sponsor, so let's waste no time at all and get right to the new release segment.
DC's newest movie, The Joker, premieres this weekend, and this rated R movie is centered around Batman's most iconic nemesis. Listen, he's a monster on Gotham streets.
Like the Monster Burger from
Red Robin, yum.
Big fan.
Not a sponsor, and it takes a look at Arthur Fleck pre and post Joker transformation.
Yes, now this movie stars Robert De Niro, Zazie Beetz, and Joaquin Phoenix, who's just a master.
Just like the master cheeseburger at Red Robin, yum. Big fan.
Not a sponsor.
And this was written and directed by Todd Phillips, who had a hand in making the Hangover trilogy, War Dogs, and A Star Is Born.
That's right, like the Oreo cookie magic milkshake from
Red Robin, yum.
Big fan.
Not a sponsor. Now it's time for the crunch. It's time for the crunch now.
Now, according to Box Office Mojo, The Joker will be premiering in an estimated 4,200 theaters, and Pro Box Office has its long-range forecast right now at $101 million. That's a 2% decrease from last week. Now, the opening weekend range for this movie is anywhere between 85 million to 105 million. So, wide range there for this one.
That's right. Now, I have to ask you, do you want to know how I got these scars?
Sure, why not?
Actually, I just misspoke. I meant to say that The Joker is rated R. It has a runtime of just over 2 hours.
Yep.
And on Rotten Tomatoes, it's sitting comfortably at a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. After 123 reviews, that's phenomenal for a Joker movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, not bad at all. Now, taking a look at some comps, we took a look at Venom, which premiered the same weekend last year in over 4,200 theaters, and it made over $80 million. But just remember, Venom was PG-13 and The Joker is rated R.
Right, and we also have to remember that Venom had a cool catchphrase like, I am Venom. So now let's look into Logan, which was our other comp, which premiered in 2017 in over 4,000 theaters to over 88 million. Now that's a rated R anti-hero film, but beware, that was a March release, and the numbers could be inflated because that was said to be Hugh Jackman's last performance as the character Wolverine.
Right, and then we also took a look at Deadpool, which premiered in 2016 in over 3,500 theaters, and it made $132 million. Now, Deadpool's also rated R. It's about an anti-hero, a villain. However, this was a February release, to be more specific, a Valentine's weekend release. So, and it was a comedy, so it could play into being a movie. It's more generalized than The Joker. So
yeah, I would say that, and also that was very highly anticipated.
Highly anticipated.
We never had a Deadpool movie before Deadpool in 2016, so we've had a lot of iterations of the Joker, and that could play in a factor as well. But now let's get into the movie radar or the Modar. So for my thoughts on the Joker, I think it can go one of either way. I've had a personal roller coaster watching these trailers as I go to the movies so often, and throughout the year, I've been really super excited for it, then I become nervous about it, then I get super excited again, now I'm anxious, now I just want to see what if it's really as good as I hope it is.
Right.
And it looks creepy, but how much of the Joker is actually in this movie? It's getting good reviews, but do critics actually know what I want in a Joker movie? I don't know about that. So right now, I'm taking a look at its long-range forecast. Yes, it only dropped just 2%, and I think Joaquin Phoenix can knock this out of the park, but from looking at Venom getting only 80, Logan only making 88, I don't think it's gonna make Deadpool numbers. So I think this one could definitely hit the 80s, high 80s, and low 90s. I just don't know pushing it much further past that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I never want to give a movie like more towards its low end, which is 85 in this case. I want to kind of put this more in the 90s or mid 90s.
Yeah.
The Venom and Logan comps, I mean, I think they're well in the range of being good comps for this movie, with the 80 million or so. But like I said, either like high 80s or to the mid 90s. So I'm gonna put my estimate around like the 90-95 range.
Okay.
So
I could definitely see that. It's definitely one of those movies that could either could do way worse than what the long range forecast, or I could also see it doing way better. And I think it only helps that it's coming out in October. Yeah, I mean, it's creepy, it's clowns, it's what people want in October. Just creepy and clowns.
Yeah, and I will say, with DC's track record of their movies, if they don't hit this one with Joker being such an iconic character, then I don't know what they're going to do moving forward.
Yeah. And for our FML Shadow, we're doing a shameless plug this week for our own article.
That's right.
We posted in the main chatter last week FML's Real Deal, where this is our thing of putting out our feelers for movies of this past year to you, the Fantasy Movie Leaguer. We have it in mind that it's going to be like the Rotten Tomatoes of Fantasy Movie League. We're going to take a whole bunch of reviews from you guys. We'll be updating the list every week.
Yep.
Putting in new movies, taking away some older movies. We have a write-in option. So if you don't see the movie, you can put it up there. We have a grading scale. You can do a 1 to 2 sentence review, and if you would recommend it or not. And then if we get enough of the reviews, we'll make a stylized movie page and put it out on the main chatter, and we'll also feature it here on VizRec.
Let's go ahead and jump into some of those reviews. Who do you got for us?
For the first one, I have Bubba Hotep's Cineplex.
Okay.
Reviewed Rambo Last Blood. Fairly recent movie. They gave it a 6 out of 10, so kind of in the middle. The review says, Rambo's Last Blood gives you the blood and guts a true Rambo fan desires. However, the plot moves in pretty fast pace and it leaves you wishing that there was a little bit more development. Great action though towards the plot, climax, and resolution, and they would definitely recommend Rambo Last Blood to not just a Rambo fan, but to everybody who loves blood and guts.
Now, you know that guy from the movie. He also wrote in a review for John Wick Chapter 3, and he gave it a 9, and this is what they said about it. You don't watch John Wick movies for the story, you watch it for the action, and Chapter 3 has plenty of great action scenes.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah. And would they recommend it? Yes, absolutely.
All right. I'm all down for that, and I definitely agree with that one. And then the final one we're going to read this episode is from Nux. They reviewed Booksmart. They gave it a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
And the 1 to 2 sentence review says, Booksmart is a clever coming-of-age story that takes the premise of Superbad to new levels in a 2019 context. Olivia Wilde shines in her directorial debut. And of course they would recommend it. A 9 out of 10? What would you expect differently?
Yeah,
and I definitely agree. I would give Booksmart one of my most surprised movies that I loved. And I can't wait to see it again. So thank you so much for everybody who's reviewed movies so far.
Yeah.
We're going to be, like I said, we're going to put new movies onto the list, put it up in the main chatter. We're going to keep on asking you guys to review movies, and then we're going to take those reviews and make a stylized page. So when we get enough, say, of Booksmart, we'll make a stylized page that looks similar, like maybe inspired by Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
And then we'll
like
put a cool percentage by it and feature everyone's reviews of that movie on the same page, so everybody can go see it, check it out, and maybe it could be really, really cool to see your name up on a movie page.
Yeah, so be sure to check out The Real Deal each and every week in the Fantasy Movie League chatter to be there for you to review movies. But that's it. That's all we have for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for all the support, and remember,
Sometimes you gotta risk it to get that biscuit.